Hey everybody, Alex here, and welcome to fucking hell, another update video. So first thing right off the bat, dude, do not under any circumstances decide that you can try to cut your own hair at home because you're afraid to go get it done professionally. Just wear a damn mask and get it done. Okay? That's the first thing, because honestly, while this doesn't really look that bad, I mean, once you look at the back and the sides, that's when you start to notice, like, this was clearly done by somebody in their home. So anyway, where have I been? So I made this video maybe 3 times already, and each time I just forget to edit it. So pretty much I got a new gig, and it is, as some of you guys know, I've worked in hospitality for like 15 years almost, and it's not in hospitality. It's something totally new and something totally different. And I was thinking about getting out of it in the first place, not because of 2020, but that didn't help. Just in general, just I'd had enough. It's a fun industry if you're looking to get into it. I love the people I met in it. I've had some excellent experiences, some great experiences. I've also had some bad experiences, but ultimately, I'm over it. It just wasn't where my heart was anymore. So I looked into something else. And under normal circumstances, I would say what industry it's in, and it is technically in the finance industry. But considering how many disclosures I had to sign just to take the job, I'm like, forget it. I'm not even going to say anything. But it is totally new. And I've been there since September, the beginning of September. So as I'm filming this, it's November 1st. So you can imagine I've been trying to film this and everything else. But it's been cool. It's totally remote for a good long while, which is great given everything going on, safety first and all that stuff. But I'll also be honest with you, I know a bunch of people personally that have always worked in fully remote jobs. If you're thinking about trying to get into something along these lines yourself, as somebody who never has and never even considered it, there is a learning curve associated with it. Your home becomes your office, as it were. I mean, I have my work laptop over here, as well as a bunch of other stuff I need. But I've always gone to an office. So for me, having everything in one place is an adjustment because, the laptop screen may close, but this doesn't, because I am in the same environment. And it came to a head because I got rip-roaringly sick for like a day and a half, and we all thought it was something else. I went, and it wasn't. Knock on wood, thank God. But it's still scary. And even then, trying to think of, where did I go? Who did I see where this could have happened? And that's me thinking of like the most non-cautious thing I did was have a Diet Coke in the park with some coworkers, and we were using a blanket so that we stayed 6 feet apart. So, that was pretty much it. But overall, it's good. I'm still learning, as it were. I don't know, what the future brings in this case, but ultimately, I was kind of just like, listen, if you don't take a move, you're not going to move anywhere. You don't make a move, you don't. Man, this beer's going right to my head. If you don't try to make a move, you won't move, essentially. So where does that play into the whole channel? Well, I wanted to do videos, and honestly, just because of this, after I'm done with all that, because there is a lot of numbers and everything else associated with it, which I'm used to from my old job, just not to this magnitude. I'm just like, I don't want to do anything. So it's been enough time where I'm like, okay, Alex, just get off your fucking ass and just do a video, because the older videos I have on a schedule, but other than that, nothing else is going up. So what I think, I wanted to do like a whole variety show thing. So unfortunately, this is going to be yet another update video, I guess. I'm fine, everything else, but with the new gig, I'm still playing games and everything, but because I don't have that regimented schedule I'm used to, and as somebody who thrives on schedules, I am really fucked up, to say the least. And I almost feel like, yeah, it's like when I played Persona 3, it taught me how to schedule myself. And now my whole schedule from about 14 years is disrupted. So I have to relearn all of that so that I can do things, I guess, appropriately for me. So to that standpoint with games, come October, my whole plan was to play a bunch of scary games. And let's be honest, 2020 has been scary enough. So while I did make an effort, ultimately it didn't really pan out like I planned. I played Obscure, which, in case you don't know, is like a sort of Scream-esque survival horror game. It's really short, maybe like 6 hours, and it's co-op. And it's on the PS2, the Wii, no, PS2 and the Xbox and PC. And then the sequel is Wii, PS2, and PC. Yeah. And the PSP as well. If you grew up watching Scream, like, if you're in my age category, you'll play this and you will laugh at how comically terrible the dialogue is, how stereotyped it is. And you'll also remember how every single horror movie used to do that back then. So it was like one of those like really refreshing things to go down memory lane. But then I tried to play some other stuff, and ultimately I wasn't feeling any of it. I tried Outlast, that didn't stick. I tried Medieval, the remake, that didn't stick, which I thought it would. But I think I got to maybe like the fourth or fifth board, and I died on a boss due to my own stupidity, and then it wanted me to replay the whole thing, and I was like, fuck this noise, it's on the PS4, PS1, I totally get it, I don't have time for this bullshit. And I just moved on. Like, I've had so much zero tolerance for so much stuff. I tried the Persistence, didn't stick. Ultimately, I ended up playing the Cadence of Hyrule, which I figured if it's from the Crypt of the Necrodancer, maybe? Really, really good game. I really enjoy it. I think I played 8 hours just to get through the main campaign because I was trying to unlock the whole map. I wish there was more music. And I don't mean there's not enough remixes. I just wish there were more themes going on. Like, they have the dungeon theme, the overworld, the main thing. Like, all that stuff is there. But I wish there was more of it, I guess you could say. But it's a really fun... If you like Crypt of the Necrodancer, this game is a lot easier than that. It is a roguelite, not a roguelike or whatever. But if you're a Zelda... I think really they kind of curbed the difficulty a bit just to make sure it appealed to Zelda fans. Because I know... One of my buddies is a hardcore Zelda fanatic, and he refuses to play Triforce Heroes because it's a co-op game. My argument is, but Four Swords was a co-op game, and he's like, yeah, he hasn't played it either. He feels like it's a one and done thing. So in this case, as a crossover, he's like, I don't typically like rhythm games or anything else. Should I play this? I was like, it's a game that's meant for fun. I don't want to spoil anything, but there's one of all the bosses have instruments, and you can probably figure out who the big bad is, but if you've seen the movie Rock-a-Doodle, that's totally what I pictured, and it was absolutely perfect. Such a fun game. I also tried to play, what was the other one I tried to play? Outlast didn't stick. I tried to play the sequel to Amnesia. That didn't last very long at all. I tried to play... Well, that didn't last just because I just didn't want to deal with it. Dang it, there was something else I tried to play that didn't stick. Odalis I tried to play, that didn't stick. And then ultimately I settled on Inside from the guys who made Limbo. And I'll be honest, I wanted to play something super low-key, which I thought this game was, and it plays super low-key. The puzzles are not overly challenging. You're not going to be racking your brain over them. But the ending sequence is so disturbing. And for risk of spoiling it, there's a certain movie that came out years and years and years ago, I think around Halloween time, that did nothing but gross people out. That is all I'm going to say. If you've played Inside, you probably already know what I'm talking about. I was so confused, I had to look up a lore video right after because I couldn't make head nor tails of what I had just played or watched. But overall, I would say that's probably one of the most fun games I've played in terms of just something that is low key and just not really, using too much of this. But in terms of, I guess, more serious games, I played through 13 Sentinels. I can't really talk about it because that game is 150% story, but it was wonderful. And to that point, too, I think because this year's been so weird, and, at this point, I've finished 40 or 41 games so far in 2020, which is not higher than last year, but it's creeping up on it. And I haven't really been doing Game of the Month videos. I think what I'm going to do, just to make my life a little bit easier, is I'm going to go through all the games that I played this year, and I'm going to single out the most exceptional ones. And then I'll do like the typical 45-minute video just going over whatever these games are. Because there were a few times where I did do the Game of the Month of the year where I do realize I was talking about games that kind of won just by default because they were the best of the worst games that I played in a particular month because they're not all hits. And also this year I made it more of a point for myself where if I'm about 3 to 6 hours in and a game is not sticking or I'm just not enjoying it, I'm just moving on. I do not have the time to power through these things anymore. And I mean, technically I do, but I don't because I have a backlog and I just kind of want to get through it, as it were. But that's really it for this. I kind of just want to say I'm alive. I'm so happy some of you guys have messaged me independently. I'm really happy you guys are enjoying the older videos. In hindsight, I'm thinking I probably should have just left them up, but I think some folks have, they were so long in the past, nobody actually knew they were up. I don't know what the hell YouTube is anymore, to be completely honest. And I don't know what's going on with the world these days anyway, but it's all crazy, it's all wacky. I think really the best thing that we can all do as people, besides me getting more and more tipsy as this video goes on, anyway, is just enjoy yourself. Well, that's really it for this sort of update video, because at this point I've had to make a few cuts, and this is shooting straight to my brain for whatever reason. Anyway, guys, I'll see y'all in the next one. Take it easy.